We actually wanted to take a little bit of time to answer some perhaps frequently asked questions about sabbatical as I am leaving and as this is my last Sunday for a while with you. So Jen's going to ask me we're going to ask some questions and give you some of the answers. So Jen, go ahead.
All right. True or false? A sabbatical is just a fancy word for vacation.
False. A sabbatical is something with a very long history in the church and also a very long history in theology. In short, we derive it from Old Testament sabbatical, where basically God challenges the people of Israel to, in that time, go a year without planting anything. And the idea behind this is twofold. One is for rest, for pastors in particular, and the second is for this idea to remind us that that what's most important at work in the church is not the pastor or even the people. It is Christ working, and that Christ is able to work outside of either of those. So it's a time for me for rest, for relaxation, but also for catching up and getting to do some things that I may not have time to do. So I have a very large stack of books that I will be reading. I'm going to take at least a week to go and do some deep kind of prayer, meditation, thinking, listening to the voice of God. Going to spend some time with my family and do lots of other things that I may not have the time to do as a pastor under normal circumstances. So really, it's a time of rest that is built into the kind of the fabric and framework of pastoral work. Generally, it happens after the 7th year, which would have been a year and a half ago for me. Given the pandemic, we as a church board and myself decided to postpone that a little bit. And so I'm going to be taking it now, right at the end of my 8th year. All right, next question. And this one's from me to Jen. True or false? The family is also on sabbatical.
False. I will still be working. Life goes on normal for us. So we will be doing some family time, but nope, sabbatical is just for Mike and his job. True or false? Taking a sabbatical means Pastor Mike doesn't want to be with us any longer at the church.
That is false. The sabbatical, again, is a time for rest, for rejuvenation, for revisioning. In fact, the sabbatical is built in, and I wouldn't be taking it if I were just saying, I want to be out of here and I want a 12-week vacation first. I wouldn't take a sabbatical if it wasn't in order to come back and hopefully come back better, come back refreshed, and come back with new and fresh ideas. So that's the hope that we have coming out of this. It's not because I want to leave. In fact, it's because I want to be able to be the most effective pastor, minister for God that I can be. And this time of rest, really, I believe, and the board has granted this to me, believes it's necessary and good for me to do so.
True or false? Mike gets to complete my honey-do list on his downtime.
True.
And finally, true or false? Pastor Mike would covet your prayers during this time.
Absolutely. I really would covet your prayers because, as I said, it's a time of, yes, rest. It's a time of relaxation, but it's a time of revisioning and refreshing. A time of hopefully rediscovering and discovering a new vision for God, for our church together, for myself. And everyone I talk to says it's a good thing when they go on sabbatical, both for the pastor and for the church. And I believe this is something good for all of us. It's going to be tough at times. I spend much of the last 9 years in the building and with you all, and I will miss you all deeply over the next 12 weeks. But I believe it will be a good thing for all of us. And you are in very capable and good hands. So remember that pastoral needs, if you need pastoral care, Pastor Sheldon will be there. If you need information from the church, the board is there and Stephanie will still be in the office. Obviously, if there's something major comes up in the church, I will be contacted by the church office or by somebody from the board. If there is a major emergency, I will be available and to be contacted then. So I'm not going to be completely out of the loop. But I will be keeping some distance, as is, I think, both good for me and good for the church in this time.